Hi, Mike with Alaska Water Conditioning. I'm going to go over the proper way to change your pre-filter and your post-filter. In this instance, you can see that the water comes out of the pressure tank and you have your main shut off, the ball valve here. So the first thing you want to do is shut off the water supply. That's shutting it off to the pre-filter, the conditioner, and your post-carbon taste and odor filter. So then you're going to track it and you're going to find the ball valve after the system. This will isolate it so all the water from the house isn't trying to back up out of the filters. It'll make for less water. So once you have the water supply shut off to the system and after, now you can release the pressure. I will do the pre-filter first. Push this red button. Usually there's a little air and a little water that'll come out. It's just releasing the pressure off the housing. You put your wrench all the way up to the top. Go right to left. And now, usually it's fairly heavy because it's full of water and it's got sediment, so you keep one hand underneath it. It's good to have a bucket under it. And when it's getting ready to come off, the water will start to come out. Then you can just dump the water. And you can take your filter out. This one's not too dirty. A lot of times they're fairly orange. Inspect your O-ring. This one has a square cut O-ring in top. Sometimes when you pour the filter out into the bucket, the O-ring will fall out. So make sure you have your O-ring in there. And then I take a little lubricant, and I always like to put some on the threads to make it nice and smooth to put back on. Make sure the O-ring's in there good. And dump all the excess water out. Then you can take your new filter. And we have all types of filters, 20-inch, 10-inch, 4.5 by 10, rope pleated, all filters that you're going to need. Stick the new filter in there. And now, you put the new filter in, you just line it up and just start turning. Sometimes when you're working your way up, there's little guides or teeth. If you only go up a couple of threads and you feel it get tight, just wiggle it, make sure the filter gets in between those guides. It should go up nice and smooth. And you just wiggle it back and forth and just snug it, just hand tight. Only hand tight. Use the wrench to take it off and never to tighten it. And now we can go up to this one. The pressure should all be released. Same thing. Get the wrench all the way to the top. Go right to left. This one's going to be a little heavier because it's a carbon block. So you just go like this. And there. And on the carbon block, there's an O-ring on the top that seals it on the top, but there's also one on the bottom. So make sure you get them both out so it doesn't start to build up on the bottom. And now for the carbon block, they usually come in a box. You open this up and they should be sealed. So you just take all the wrapper off. In some of these, you're going to see that they add an extra O-ring. As long as you have an O-ring on the top and one on the bottom, this is an extra one. Not sure why they did that, but it confuses people. Just throw it away. Put it in the housing. There. You could dump more water out too. It'll make it easier to put it back on. It'll be a little lighter. Put some lube on the thread. Make sure the O-ring's in there still. There's different housings out there. Some have a round O-ring. This is a square cut one. If you ever need to replace your O-ring, make sure you notice which type you have so you get the right one. There's a lot of different manufacturers for the housings. So now, I'm going to put this back on, same as I did the pre-filter. I'm going to get it started from here. Sometimes the guides don't work or set. They line up, there it goes. You can always feel it's nice and smooth, so sometimes you gotta wiggle it a little bit. Once it gets like that and it's getting ready to be tight, just snug it by hand. And now you can open up the supply. I do it fairly quick because it lifts that O-ring and seals it. Sometimes if you do it just real slow, you'll get a little leak. It's good if you had some paper towels. You can wipe it down and look for leaks. If you ever have a leak, it's always going to be underneath here, and you'll see it just dripping down. It'll mean it didn't seal. So you can wipe it off. Hand tight, no leaks. And now open up the supply to the house. And you got a new pre-filter, new post filter. It helps if you want to put a little card up and mark the date you change it so you know how long they're lasting and when's the last time you changed them. Thank you.